very well indeed if prior to arriving here, the House Republicans put on the floor the continuing resolution already passed by the Senate, passed it in the House, and then we would know that the government can reopen and that all the various problems caused by the shutdown could end today.
But given the fact that you might not get everything that you want here,
here's the thing, Jim, we're not asking for anything. We're just asking for the government to be open at spending levels set by Republicans, and for Congress, at the behest of the Tea Party, not to default on the United States' full faith and credit for the first time in history. That's not. We're not asking for concessions. That's just asking for Congress to be responsible.
But I guess my point is that all you may be able to get right now is the clean debt ceiling increase for the time being. To get
again, I think default. I said the answer is, the president has always said he would sign a clean debt limit increase. It is far preferable that it be longer. And what I said yesterday holds true today. Short term, medium term, long term, it will always be the case when it is Congress's responsibility, again, to ensure that our bills be paid, that he will not pay a ransom, that he will not allow the Tea Party to hold the American people hostage in exchange for doing its job.
But we may have a scenario where the debt ceiling is raised, default is averted, but we may still be in the position of having a government shutdown.
Well, if that were to happen, what would the Republican rationale for that be? The continued punishment of the American people and the continued harm that would do to the American economy. Why? Why? Just open the government at levels set by the Republicans, and then let's talk about our budget priorities. Then let's talk about solving these issues for the longer term.
You can take one bite at a time.
And then let's talk about our budget priorities. Then let's talk about solving these issues for the longer term.
You can take one bite at a time.
Jim, I've been pretty clear in answering the question. Yeah.
Can I ask a very straightforward question?
I'll come back to you, Jim. Go ahead, John. Straightforward.
Is the president willing to engage in budget negotiations with the Republicans if the government is still shut down?
I think the president's been very clear on that. If the Republicans think, or the Tea Party that is driving the Republican decision-making up there thinks that they can extract concessions by punishing the American people, by punishing the American economy, in order to get what they want, the answer is no. The president is meeting with House Republicans today. So the idea that this is about having a conversation, well, they're having a conversation today. But they will not, whether it's Obamacare or tax breaks for millionaires or any other of their possible demands, they're not going to get it in exchange for funding the government at in a CR that was set by a Republican. Remember, the whole point of a short-term CR, as proposed by the Speaker originally, basically a clean CR set at existing levels, was to allow for time to have budget negotiations. So what's the rationale for refusing to do that in order to have budget negotiations? There is none. The only it's spite. It's deliberate harm to average folks out there, some of them who are directly affected because they can't go to work, others who are affected because they can't get a small business loan, or they can't get access to services that are important to them. There is macroeconomic harm done the longer the government is shut down, and there's no logical rationale for it. And I would say that they're doing harm to the American people, they're doing harm to the American economy, and by all accounts, they're doing harm to the Republican Party, which is bad for America. We need two strong parties that can work together and not be in a situation where one faction of one house, of one branch of government